if I was never lucky enough just to seek and find, other people have looked and looked and looked and found nothing, and they suffered until they died. And they lived horrible, painful, sick lives. Yeah, the pills, the injection for so long. Some of them, they had their legs and their arms cut off because of what's about the sugar. So I know that there are people who have suffered because of lack of knowledge. They didn't have the right information. So Transnet, even though I'm busy with motivation, I didn't feel that motivation was what people need. I realized we are too sick to worry about becoming successful. I think we need to heal ourselves first so we can think right, because one of the things we don't do is we don't do the connections between the hippocampus or the brain with what we eat, but we don't realize that our brain is actually our gut. And what is in the gut affects the brain directly. How you eat affects the way you think, the quality of your thoughts. So you can't think right if you're not eating right, literally. So I realized, man, we gotta heal first on a physical level, cleanse the body, make sure that all the toxins are gone so that there is much improved circulation between the body and the brain can receive enough oxygen so it can think, and the electrolytes can fire in the brain. I realized, man, I need to go out there and do this job because this is much more meaningful than sitting more at Transnet doing this.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, brothers and sisters, welcome to another special episode of Mega Artist Media on Jack Rams Online. Today, I have a special guest. His name is Molo from Molo Health. He calls himself a holistic health practitioner. Interesting stuff.
Yeah.
And he always talks about zinc and alkaline,
right,
and acids,
right.
And every time I watch his videos, I get so frustrated. I'm like, this guy is discouraging me from eating everything that is in my fridge. I want to get rid of almost everything that is in my fridge, in my cupboard. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, brothers and sisters, welcome. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. I just want to take this moment as well to thank everyone who has subscribed. We have reached and achieved 600 subscribers. Yay! Molo.
Yes, sir.
Welcome, my brother, on my channel.
Thank you, sir. I feel very welcome.
Thank you for joining me, mate.
Hey, Tara.
I saw some of your videos and I realized that you are also trying to start doing some content in terms of educating and empowering people and enlightening them in terms of health and particularly the food that they consume.
Right, yeah. That is very true, sir.
Sure.
Yeah, I've begun setting up because this whole thing, I'll share information to another level. I want people to see that I'm serious about I want people to actually see that I'm very seriously. Yeah, that's why I started.
Okay. So I've always wondered, where does your interest in terms of food comes from? Mm-hmm. And let me tell you what has always been at the back of my mind.
Yeah.
It has always been, this guy probably somehow, somewhere in his life, he was so sick and he was like, yo, I need something and he was told, oh no, chief, the food that you eat is the problem. And he stopped and he was like, yo, I'm gonna eat healthy from now onwards. Maybe that's my theory. That's what I was thinking. Or maybe you got that alert because you were sick and someone told you that you only have 3 months to live unless you stop eating the junk that you're eating and you start eating healthy, then you can prolong your life.
Right.
So I would like to know your interest in terms of food, in terms of agriculture and farming. Where did it start?
Yeah, no, we eat it right on top of the head, but
Really?
I got sick in 2016. And then Magadi was that I was engaged in personal development. So negi exercise almost every single day. I was living sort of a conscious lifestyle. At least I thought so, But then I'm 2016 negi Toma suffer from diabetes. And goddamn, bro, I'm a young man. Why am I suffering from such problems? And my libido is going down. My energy is low. I'm always fatigued. My memory is going. I can't remember anything. Get to lose a focus in all aspects of my life. Like, my brain is going. I can tell something is definitely wrong with me, but I don't know what. Until get to did the research and I found out, damn, I'm coming down with diabetes. This is what they call diabetes right here. I tick all the boxes. So, I then said I need a solution, and the medical industry needs any solution until I information and Dr. Sebi. And Dr. Sebi, through, I guess, child issues, cannot decide to because I don't have any other reason not to. Because he's saying it's possible, and everybody else will know for the rest of your life. But he's saying, no, bro, just adjust a few things, understand that today I see GMO, hybrids, all sorts of things that never existed back in nature. Today, and that's why I do. I said, what? I said, okay, cool. You know what? I can a reason not to trust this man. And I also watched the documentary, What the Health. And
like, what the fuck?
Yeah. What the fuck is going on in the health industry, Yeah. Shit. And so, the most mind-blowing information, the real truth about what is hidden in the back doors, in these factories, what chemicals they're using, the impact of those chemicals, and the fact that we're aware that they are doing this to us, but they still put it in there because it's for monetary gain. Hey, I was angry.
Highest level of capitalism.
Ruthless capitalism. The capitalism that says, I will kill you to make money. And I don't care. And I will advertise it, and I will make it so beautiful, and I will blend it and make it look like the most attractive thing ever. So that you get the stuff, and I make you sick. And it's a vicious cycle. It goes to the pills. From the pills is the hospital with their operations, and soon before you know it, you're pronounced dead. So everybody is supposed to walk it. So lucky for me, I changed my food, and literally I make you feel like you want to throw away your food. That's what I did. I went into my fridge, kanchana mayela, that's been. Kanchari danone lady cheese and lenyora laga next go fecha next go fela. So next to a grocery, and I had all those things that I loved, Man, I threw that stuff out, and I went and got the list here, Dr. Sebi at Alkaline, and I went and started from scratch. I even changed my water. I even stopped using my tap water, and I started using purified and putting sea salt in it. So just by doing that, in fact, about 3 to 4 weeks later, I was back. My libido was back. My clarity was back. My brain was back. My energy level was back. My fatigue was gone. I'm back. So that's how basically I started on this journey.
All this time, I thought maybe it was an academic experience and journey, and that's why you dedicated your life in teaching people about agriculture and farming. So was that a coincidence, or it's something you undertook after this whole experience?
Yeah, the problem starts first with food production. But our producer today, we produce mostly GMO. And some of these things I will say, right? Because the common foods, the cabbage, beetroot, carrots, cauliflower, broccoli, potatoes. These are genetically modified corn or shisha. These are genetically modified vegetables. They took two natural vegetables and then body blender to create something new. Or they hybridize it by and they chemically find a way to grow it or be bigger than what it actually is. So this is what we're dealing with: starch-based food. Starch-based food is it's the food that is in the market, and it's the food that we are eating every single day. These are the things that we call healthy food. But in actual sense, these are the things that are actually breaking down our bodies. These are the things that are hard for us to digest. These are the things that diabetes, high blood pressure. These are the problems. Arthritis, bone issues. Legit. So I said, damn, the food industry is broken. And I get over the ones that are on the shelf in the packages and the cans, because those are the worst. But they are also fake. So I said, no, I need to do something because I'm affected. Let's say I'm affected. I don't eat 100% the way Kenyaka, simply because I live in a world that doesn't have those things readily available. I have to almost work twice as hard to get those things to me.
And that was my fate with you. I was like, but this guy is educating us about all these things.
Yeah.
And when you look at the accessibility of the alternatives, it's not even that easy to access them. And how do we even create situation and an environment where we are able to plant and get this food? Because the seed that you buy at the supermarket, already it's created and produced from a genetically modified system.
Right.
So how are you then surviving in this whole situation where you find that now you understand your condition and you understand food and food production?
Yeah.
And you are frustrated because now you are realizing that everything that you have been eating, it has created your condition.
That's right.
And it is still there, and you are still forced to eat some of it.
Yeah.
So how do you now manage your situation?
I would say at this point, I'm 80% dinyakang and 20% not so the ones that I like. Wrong. So I have my places where I get my grains, for example. Only moge grandi spelled, teff, amaranth, quinoa. Generally mabele, loja. So I have places where I get these grains. And then the fruits and the vegetables, some of them I grow. Some of them I get from the local community because like they have original stuff, you know? Like dijoje long or disanal dipeu. Only namuni chilor today disanal dipeu. So guamarai and like we have those, you know? So I would say 80% there is 20% is not. Because even my oils, I've changed my oils. I've changed my sugars. I've changed my salt. It's just those few areas I cannot control. For example, and my family might use whatever they use in the food. And I might come in late, tired, and somehow I find myself having some of those things that I don't think I should be eating. So it's a bit difficult. This is why I'm going into agriculture. And the reason I'm going into agriculture is because I want to solve this problem firstly for myself. Because I also want to make these things available, this food available to other people. Because I have a problem. And I say to them, well, okay, I can give you the herbs, but the problem is the food. So we also have to change the food. I have the same problem, saying to that person that the food is easily accessible, because it's not. So now I said, I need to fix this problem myself. I need to go into the food industry and start growing the food so that I can make it available. And that's the journey I'm walking right now.
Right. So when you went for a consultation assessment and they diagnosed you, what did they say? Which type of diabetes did you have?
No, I did the research myself. I never went to an institution to go and get tested.
Oh, okay. How did you do that?
I made the research. How about you can see the symptoms that you are suffering. And the symptoms that you are suffering will tell you what they are consistent with. All of those symptoms come. Remember, lo ya doctor wa go botšiša gore na o tshwenya ke ya ba wena o mmotša ke tshwenya ke se le se, then he can have a clue. Okay, I also say I can conclude gore bothata ke jo.
So you did a self-diagnosis?
That's what I did. And I was aware that I was coming down with type 2 diabetes.
Hey man, that's scary, bro. Were you afraid that when you go to the doctor, they would recommend medication?
I knew.
Yeah.
I knew or they were going to say pills and injections, Joe. And I can imagine the rest of my life. I know those people don't have solutions for me.
So was that the fear that pushed you to alternatively going for food?
Not even fear. It was the awareness. Yeah, or these guys are not. The answer. So better rekinyaka somewhere else. So that's why I started looking somewhere else. And lucky for me, look, I was able to heal myself.
So you are saying you were able to heal yourself. How do you measure that? How do you know that now I'm healed? I know you said it at the beginning.
Yeah.
Maybe you might not have elaborated and emphasized more on it.
Yeah.
So let's get into it into detail. How then do you identify that now I think I'm okay?
Yeah. Well, number one, I said that my brain was foggy. I was very lethargic. I was constantly tired, fatigued. My libido was going down. I could tell. And generally, I had no energy. Generally, all the time. And after going through 3 to 4 weeks of detoxification and changing my food and my water and doing the smoothies and juices and salts and all of that, I was able to remove all those issues. I was able to think again, to feel my energy levels rise up again, to be clear in my mind, the lethargy disappeared, and I was able to have the energy again. That's how I discovered, that's how I knew Dr. Sebi was right. That's how I knew, this man is right. You can heal yourself with the right knowledge. Wabo, the problem is when we think about health, we think the medical industry. And I think that's the mental switch. We need to stop looking towards Mahoa as the bar setters in terms of health, because they are not. They have, most of the time, they have no idea what they're doing, because the doctors that go to school don't even teach them anything about nutrition. They teach them about chemicals. They are here to push chemicals. Your job as a doctor is to push chemicals, right? And even if they teach them about the surgery, the human body is meant to heal itself. The human body is meant to heal without being opened. We don't need to open people up in order to heal. We can heal with just taking the right stuff and removing the wrong things. The problem here now is we want quick solutions. We want to microwave our problems. We just want to get somebody to remove something and then the problem is gone. Arinya go remove the cause.
Isn't it removing because it's completely damaged now? There's nothing you can do about it.
You know, the body, I believe, has a magnificent power of healing itself. Very powerful power of healing itself. Even if you can repair it all, even if you can whatever part of your body you have, your body has the ability to heal itself. The problem is we don't have the patience and the knowledge. I believe many of the people who are doing the operations, they were unnecessary. They would have healed themselves. Many of them probably could have healed themselves if they had the right information. If they just removed the acid forming food, cleaned up their colon and their circulation and their lungs and drain the lymphatic system. If they just did this, if they just changed their water and stopped drinking the fizzy stuff, they would be okay. The problem is people don't have the time and the commitment to actually do the right things. We want to microwave our solutions.
Now, your background and knowledge, is it substantiated by some academic literature that you had acquired as a qualification, or it's self-taught in indigenous language that you have acquired as an individual?
Yeah, well, Nagi studies mechanical engineering. So this has nothing to do with learning about herbs and food and nutrition. This is completely self-taught. This is completely being at the feet of healers, people who are nutritional healers, herbalists, who have knowledge, and I began to learn. And through that, I was able to help myself and many others who have come to me for help. I was able to say, you know what? Do what I did.
So supporting your study, you are your self-case study.
Yeah. Ke bone ka nna gore diabetes ya fall.
And that is your research.
Yeah. I look no further. I am the evidence. When I see myself, I say, wow, bruh. Mendoza died because somebody told him he has diabetes. Mendoza would have probably been saved if he had met information from Dr. Sebi or even just myself. It kills me.
Right, so talking about death, do you think that if you were to die, because of what you have done so far in terms of medicating yourself and making sure that you are dealing with your condition, it would not be because of diabetes?
Awa. The last thing I know that I would suffer from is a health issue.
Not related to?
No, I would never have a health issue because health issues are brought upon by the lifestyle we pay. Yeah. So I tlhokomela me bra. Ke ja sharp. Right? It might not be 100%, but like I said, 80% of the time, I'm good. I take care of myself. I take my herbs. I take my teas. I'm constantly detoxing. I'm constantly watching what I eat. Even if and I have that. So generally, I don't worry about my health. My health is the last thing that I should ever worry about. If there was anything that was to probably kill me, it would probably be the medical industry. Yeah, because those are the people that feel violated by the information I share because they expose what they are lies. They expose the things that they are doing to the community.
Yeah. Let's talk about, because I watched one of your videos. You were talking about chlorine. You were talking about toothpaste and the water.
Or fluoride.
The fluoride,
Yeah.
yes. And the water that we drink.
Yeah.
And I'm not really happy with the kind of water that comes from our taps because first and foremost, you can just see from the color that this is not clean water.
Okay.
What is problematic with the water that we're drinking right now?
Yeah, the problem with city water is recycled water. Metsalenga mo toilet today, aga kitchen in tomorrow. All our drainage systems lead to one place. All the chemicals, all the junk, all the stuff, every single thing that you can think about that goes down the drain, they all go to one central place. And that one central place is somehow supposed to clean the water. Really? That's not what they do. Those people only deal with issues of color, making sure the issue of taste, so that, our tasting right, and the look and feel. But they don't eliminate all of those heavy metals that we send down the drain. What about metse is the greatest dissolvent, right? Anything you put in water, most of the things that you put in water except for oil can dissolve. And you can put salt in water, you can put sugar in water and not see. You can put many chemicals and not be able to see or mets are really chemicals. So metale are full of a lot of toxic chemicals. All of the chemicals that go down the drain in all these companies that work around the city, they all go to the same place.
So what would you advise, type of water that people should consume or drink? What kind of water? Because there are people who go to stores and look for not mineral water, but look for still water, look for other types of water with the hope that that water they get there, it's the most cleanest and the most safest.
Right. The problem here, bottled water, is that there's no guarantee of what you have in there. There's a thing, it's called TDS. It shows you the amount of chemicals that have dissolved inside that bottle. TDS means total dissolvent, total dissolved solids all of the chemicals that have dissolved inside that water. Yeah, or which are there are a number of them. So many of these companies really didn't so many chemicals inside, but they won't tell you the truth. So they will write whatever they write. Yeah. So I cannot guarantee you metsa rekishwan le ona is the best water. But what I can say is the company they purify metsi are better options. Right? But always is so. Promote shiba. But more reverse osmosis. You know, you can also fit in your own reverse osmosis filtration system so that it can clean the water as it comes from the pipes. You can do that. That's an option. It's actually a better option, I would say. So, yeah, I would say if you're in the city where they purify water is your best option, reverse osmosis is also another option. And then if you're Ufukama, I would say Metapula, one of the best you can have, or Metasiliva, right? Celora contaminated, of course. Yeah. In fact, those would be the highest quality water. Acidiva, so.
Yeah.
Ours were contaminated. Yeah.
Right. So you said you were a technical engineer.
Yeah.
Mechanical.
Studies mechanical engineering.
Mechanical engineer.
Yeah.
So did you ever practice in that field?
I work for Transnet, not necessarily in the mechanical engineering field, but yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was in the engineering space for quite some time, about
Right.
4 years.
About 4 years?
Yeah.
That means you left?
Yeah, fine.
Yeah, okay. That sounded so convenient. Right? So why did you leave that space?
I had to do healing. I realized people are dying. I realized that there's a bigger cause, that there's something bigger I can be doing, that there's something better. Not even better maybe, but something more meaningful. Because I realized I could have easily suffered for so long if I never found this information. If I was never lucky enough just to seek and find. Other people have looked and looked and looked and found nothing, and they suffered until they died. And they lived horrible, painful, sick lives. Yeah, the pills, the injection for so long. Some of them, they had their legs and their arms cut off because watch out about the sugar. So I know that there are people who have suffered because of lack of knowledge. They didn't have the right information. So Transnet, even though negili busy motivation, I didn't feel that motivation was what people need. I realized we are too sick to worry about becoming successful. I think we need to heal ourselves first so we can think right, because one of the things we don't do is we don't do the connections between the hippocampus or the brain with what we eat, but we don't realize that our brain is actually our gut. And what is in the gut affects the brain directly. How you eat affects the way you think, the quality of your thoughts. So you can't think right if you're not eating right, literally. So I realized, man, we gotta heal first on a physical level, cleanse the body, make sure that all the toxins are gone so that there is much improved circulation between the body and the brain can receive enough oxygen so it can think, and the electrolytes can fire in the brain. I realized, man, I need to go out there and do this job because this is much more meaningful than sitting more at Transnet doing this.
I find it fascinating and very intriguing to realize that you studied mechanical engineering, and it makes more sense how you are able to articulate thoroughly this scientific and biological jargon, and understand the science behind food and farming. Yeah. So also what's fascinating is your health is the one that motivated you to leave your job and say, hey man, so I'm here, I'm working, country, I'm dying. And I'm in this field, but this field also at the same time, because I saw some of your videos with Matalani Mukhadli, and you were talking about getting out of the matrix. And I don't know if it was between the time that when you decided to leave your job and to go and pursue things that you feel they were right for you and it was your purpose too. So what were some of your corporate experiences that you had that also really gave you affirmation to say, this thing is not my purpose?
Prior to 2016, got 2013, I started engaging in personal development. And the reason I started engaging in personal development is because I got my awakening, I guess. You know, I was at my lowest point. I was looking for a job. Transnet. I don't really love engineering. I did engineering because so I'm in this job, but it's not really the meaning of my life, and I feel so out of place. It's like the person I am is far different from the person I imagined myself to be when I was a kid. And now, at that age, you know, 2013, I looked at myself and I said, this is not who I am. This is not the image I have of myself. I never imagined myself overall and working like this when I was a kid. It was never the image, the self-perception that I had. So I said, so luckily for me, during that year, 2013, I remembered when I was a kid, there was something I wanted to do. And I was inspired by a speaker, you know. I remember in 1980, there was a bold white guy. He would come in the, during sunrise, and he would say things like, FAIL stands for first actions in learning. And I used to love watching that guy every day, you know, and he was motivating, you know. And so that returned, you know, that love for being able to impact people's lives returned. And I remember that time when I was sitting with my mother watching Tony Robbins. So I said, damn, because this guy showed me a video, and this video triggered that 2013. And I said, man, this guy's story tells me he's living in abandoned buildings. He was poor. He was troubled. He was living a filthy lifestyle. But now he's a motivational speaker and he's doing powerful things. And I looked at my life and I was seeing myself as a victim. And I was mad at life and God and all the shit that happened to me before that. Because I figured, why did I do to deserve such punishment? You know, because I really went through some shit. And so when I listened to that guy's story and I thought about my own, I realized, bro, this guy has gone through more shit than you. This guy has survived a whole lot more trauma than you. What are you crying about? Like, you can pick yourself up. I said, God damn, I'm going to pick myself up. And so from 2013, I started picking myself up. I stopped hanging out with Majita, stopped partying, stopped clubbing, stopped just doing nothing with them. I canceled my DSTV subscription. I sold my TV. I started doing motivation. I got YouTube. I got myself a laptop, internet connection, and I just started downloading videos so I can start programming myself to become who I want to become. So between 2013 and 2016, I was engaged in motivational speaking, high schools, colleges, and I had built myself up between 2013 and 2016 to a point where I was now speaking, like outside, I would say departments. They were giving me opportunities, you know. So I began to realize, man, like, there is something in me. I'm good at what I do. And then the next thing was I was elected to become a chairperson of youth, Yasatau, in Gauteng. And I was able to now lead young people, Kayakara Union.
Sure.
And in the union, I started flying. They started flying me to Kenya, to Ethiopia, and I started broadening my perspective of life, and I started seeing myself in a way that I had never seen myself before.
Sure.
And I started seeing myself operating in stages I never thought I would operate, debating with people that I didn't think that I was on their level, but I knew that I was bigger than what I projected myself to be because of the things that happened to me. You know, sometimes we might have a tendency to not see ourselves as we truly are. We might define ourselves according to the pain that we suffered. But I began to start having a new perspective of myself. So that Satao leadership position, and plus my speaking thing, and plus within Transnet, they started giving me opportunities. I started speaking within the company now. I was no longer on the shop floor. I was now dressing up, looking nice, taking off the boots and the overalls. And I was now starting to go around, and management would ask me to host events, and I started growing, and I realized, God damn, I've become me. I love who I am. Because I can stand in front of managers and I can give a presentation to them and they can invite me to come and host their events. And I was just a nobody, just 2013, 3 years ago, broken, frustrated, didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. But through personal development, I was able to build myself up to become there. So that's what gave me the confidence to finally say, nah, Joe, you're big enough. You can do this. Let's go. So I resigned.
Right. Throughout that, there is a competition that you entered, I think,
Yeah.
where you won something like 200,000.
It's 150.
150.
That's right.
Yeah, tell us about that.
Yeah, that was a pitching competition. I was pitching about my juice, Molo Juice. It's a business that I started producing juices back in 2019. I was able to compete locally, Moas Kukune. And after competing Moas Kukune, I was able to go national. And I was able to compete with other business owners. And I was able to eventually become the part of the top 5 that won. So yeah, I was able to walk away with 150. And it's been a good investment in my business.
Yeah. What did you have to do to enter the competition and finally win?
All I had to do was, I guess, be an entrepreneur and be at the right place at the right time.
Sure.
And people gave me an opportunity and I took it.
Right.
Yeah.
So was it one of those things where you pitch a business plan and they look at the pitch, the business plan, if it's viable, and then they fund it?
If it's bankable, all of that, if you're making money, if it's stable, if it's growing, your story, are you passionate? What are the reasons behind why you started this thing?
Sure.
So they looked at all of that and I guess I ticked some of those boxes.
Yeah. Maybe also with your articulation and presence and ability to
communicate.
To communicate.
Yeah, it's part of the package. Yeah.
Right. Let's talk about the juice now.
Yeah.
All right. That's your business.
Definitely. That's
what you're selling.
That's right.
All right. How is the business going?
Man, the business has grown. From 2019, I used to just produce and sell to just my friends. Target Yaga was probably like 50 a month.
Sure.
But yeah, we were able to grow that. Now we're doing good, man. We're doing anywhere between 500, 600 juices a month.
Distributing to any major stores or hardwares or?
No, we just use courier and we ship them. Some of them I move them myself. We don't. My strategy is not to go into any of those retail stores.
Okay.
My aim is to build my own value chain and marketplace. I'll get there, but yeah, that's how I'm doing it.
So the ingredients, let's talk about the ingredients of the juice and the health benefits of your juice.
Yeah. I think
I saw it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, people are drinking it, so it's gone.
Yeah. So I made them from raw fruits and vegetables, the chlorophyll-rich vegetables and fruits. So apple, cucumber, green pepper, kale, I get them from my local farmers. So one of the things I did, I started building relationships with my local farmers once I moved back home. Because I moved back home back in 2020. And then I get my inputs from them. So we make those with apple as well. And then the benefits is that the body is made from chlorophyll. The whole system of your body needs chlorophyll in order to function. Carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. You are made up of those 3 elements. Those 3 elements, if they're not present, your life will be very, very poor. You'll be very sick. If those things are rich in your body, you will never be sick because you are vibrating at a high frequency. Your energy levels are high because you are eating high energy food. So the aim is that we strip away the fiber and offer the chlorophyll itself in liquid form. So your body doesn't even have to break down the stuff. Immediately it's an immediate absorption into the bloodstream and it gets to work. It increases your iron levels, increases circulation, increases your zinc levels, magnesium, your bones, your joints. It cleanses out your digestive system so much easily. It gives you energy, all of that. Yeah.
So I've seen and noticed and observed people, what they do is they buy such products, right? They put them in the fridge and whatever, right? But when you open the fridge, this whole side of the fridge is the food that they're not supposed to eat. So they somewhat use that as a comfort to say, I will eat this and I will drink the juice. It will do the work. Does it work?
What's about
or it needs to be complemented with the right food.
what's
as
about if
well.
we can complement, that would be the best thing. But I cannot dispute the fact that it would still take its effects. You know, it's not effective in its own way, but not as effective as it would be if we complement that with the right food. Yeah.
Because that's what I've seen people do.
Yeah.
Like, at least after drinking Coca-Cola,
Right.
like a whole of it,
Right.
2 liters,
Yeah.
and then he drinks 500 milliliters of water, at least and I'm like, but I know, man, the amount of acid and the amount of water.
How do you neutralize it?
No.
Yeah,
no,
man.
no.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
okay. Close the door. Yeah. So, those are some of the things I've noticed as well. And I'm not saying I don't eat healthy, bruh. We spoke outside and I told you how the McDonald's fries, they really caught me. Like, I'm deep in those things. And we're having a conversation like, those things, they don't even rot.
Yeah.
They stay for days,
Eish,
for
my bro.
days, for days, for days, for days. And you were educating me about the process of what those things do when they get into your stomach and how they're being even produced. Can you take us through that?
Yeah, I mean, it was a very interesting video, I guess, how they spray those chemicals on those potatoes, and until those potatoes, McDonald's. So, yeah, I mean, I think we need to be aware of what we are consuming. You know, I think people really need to take their time to research the things that they are eating. But I think some of the problems that we're experiencing is man is living in high level of ignorance. Many of us could care less about what we are eating, and whether it was chemicalized, whether it's rich in chemicals, which kind of chemicals, whether it was sprayed over with pesticides, toxic pesticides. We don't care. Many people don't care. Let me not say we don't, but many people don't care. And the reason I think they don't care is because they don't even, their brains don't even have the inquisitiveness to say, but where does this come from? And I think that is largely why many people are suffering and they don't even know why. Because they've bought into the illusion that there's proteins and vitamins and all these things, you know?
Yeah, when you're about to lettuce nyana,
Yeah. You see,
yeah, that's the
Yeah.
same thing I'm saying.
Yeah.
Someone buys your juice,
Yeah.
but still has junk in
Yeah.
the fridge and
Yeah.
eat the junk and drink the juice
Yeah.
and feel like, so even the burger, it
Yeah.
comes with the tomato and it comes with the lettuce, but the burger itself is this large, huge portion.
Right. And it's so bad because it is made. I mean, if you do, look, the most important thing, if many people want to know what's really going on in the food industry, is to do your research. Really study what is going on in the food industry. I think if many of us were to watch that documentary that blew my mind, What the Health, you would actually think twice about the way we are. Than about the things that you're eating, because they go behind the scenes. They show you the things that nobody's willing to show you about what's going on in the food industry.
Yeah.
The torture and the trauma and the chemicals, the toxic chemicals that are being put inside these things. So I would advise people, man, that be aware of what you're eating, because those are the things that are eating you.
Yeah, and we spoke about the digestive system.
Right.
When those food get into your stomach, what happens?
Well, food was meant to come in, be extracted, you know, mo shilang, go extract the minerals, and then throughout the day, but what we are dealing with today is we're dealing with starch, we're dealing with gluten, we're dealing with cheese, which is literally glue. Why on a cheese, right? Yeah, why on again? But tancha di lo mo di mga pizza again. What's about cheese? Bagas tancha di lo mo again.
Yeah.
So
Glue straight.
glue, you know. So ultimately, rijadi yo che longor diatanya, and some of them are very hard. So what begins to happen is our bodies develop that unhealthy gut where these things and then the problem is, how many times do we eat? How many times do they say you should eat a day? 3 times, I get. You must have breakfast, lunch, and supper, right? So we 3 times a day, and you're going to be eating things that your body cannot break down, right? Tomaga jona marotha afro. In the afternoon, you're having those things as well. In the evening, of course, right? So now what begins to happen? Dilo tsela di a tsena tša dula, and they are accumulate, right? And then we talk about every day I raga one. But what about the fact that you ate 3 meals? Or some people 3 to 4 days ya feta. Motho a sa ye ntlwaneng. And rawa na it's normal. Maruja every day. So people don't even realize or know.
Where is the food going?
Exactly. If it's like where is it? You don't disappear. So what begins to happen is it's bola and it's unchadiboko. That's why on the tapeworm and all these things come maling. The tomago de popa du kutu because of the ulcer, inflammation. Your body now has to burn that stuff out. The inflammation. Some people heartburn, right? Constipation, the piles, your liver starts getting affected because your liver now extracts all that stuff from your digestive system. Fatty liver, or liver damage, or liver failure, or kidney stones, or kidney failure. Slowly but surely, the organs of the body begins to wear off. Because under attack. So it's really the colon is the first place where all disease starts. Digestive system, that's where basically all your problems are going to start. Yeah.
And some of this genetically modified food and junk food that we consume every day is fast food.
Yeah.
That paints a picture that they are adding some health element. Lettuce, those are the type of food that we always consume.
Right.
And those are the type of food that always also contribute into diabetes and obesity.
Facts. So,
and we don't want to accept and admit the fact that the food that we eat every day contribute in most of our alignments.
No, bro, it's the consequences of normal life. This is normal life.
Because someone would say, but we are trapped in an industrial, urban, modern society where accessing organic food is becoming difficult.
Right.
What should we do?
Right. So, Wabana, my brother, Rams, the unfortunate thing is that we live in a world that has normalized things that are abnormal. You see? So, because the abnormal, the normal, now nobody really knows the truth anymore. There's so much confusion about what to eat or what not to eat. This is why people don't know the things that are making them sick, because they are under the illusion that they are good, because everybody wadija. Even the doctor goes to McDonald's. You get what I'm saying? Even the doctor smokes. Even the doctor takes Coca-Cola, right? So how can it be how can it not be normal life? This is normal life. This is normal life.
The same nutritionist who advises you not to, you meet them on the street doing the same thing that they said
tell
you
you
must
not to do. Right.
And they say no, like do what I say, not what I say.
Yeah, we live in that type of society. I might be guilty of it myself. I may be guilty of it sometimes. But truth of the matter is, if we go a healthy lifestyle, you really have to live outside of what we call normal life. You know, you have to think differently from how everybody sees food. When I walk into the store, I guess I level the same way everybody else does. I know that the portion of food that I go to is the fruits and vegetables section. From then on, go nyaga the grains, chaga. And once I'm done with that, I don't see everything else as food. All the other aisles that exist, I guess I'm telling you the truth, there are many aisles and many shops that I don't go to simply because they have nothing for me there. So I start isolating the areas that I eat from.
Yeah. You are in business, and obviously your competitors are your multinational corporate establishments,
right,
your big supermarkets and etc. Are you able, though, in your business to transform people to completely like live the abnormal life You understand?
Yeah.
Because what we're living now is normal. Right?
The toxic life is normal
the
life.
toxic life is normal.
Yeah.
Are you able to at least persuade people and influence them, and you see them follow through? And some of them, you can actually see their deteriorating health improve and becomes better.
Yeah, I've seen many, bro. There was this one old man, Salakaya Goyena. He had sugar diabetes, and he also had high blood pressure and cholesterol issues. And nasa tlasa kgono tsamaya, nasa tlasa nele eyesight yana theme tsamaya, and it had been years since he left the house. And so I found him actually the pills, I think 15 or 20 of them per day. And he showed me a bag of the pills pelanga jona. And wow, it was so crazy, man. You know? And I started showing him all of the direct effects, because I don't call them side effects, they are direct effects of the pills. And I started saying to him, do you experience dizziness, constipation, hot flashes, and whatnot? Do you experience them? I do. Now, would you say these things are actually helping you or making you worse? He said, no, they're definitely making me worse. I said, okay, cool. So listen, I advise you to start skipping days where you take these things. And you slowly start weaning yourself off. Like, 2 days. Once top skipper, 1 day for like a week, start skipping 2 days. And slowly that old man started doing that. Or reduce the pills. And then I also told him, change a couple of things in the house. You're going to have to change the salts, the sugars, and the meat. He needs to stop that. He needs to stop eating pap. I gave him a whole list of things to do. And about 4 or 5 months later, I'm phoning, and at this point, and she's like, yeah, do you mean like me? Are ke molo ke molo. Are ke nna mme wa ka maisela. Are ya mme wala wa re nkare oh ya mme wala wa ntatola boro wa moruti. Yes. Gore no ngara ta go leboga why? Are monna ka le go o ile spa. No, we le ka yena. He took himself. No, we let it shopo.
Oh, the shopo.
We let it shopo. We let it shopo. Yeah. He finally was able to stand up, walk, and leave the house, and be functional again.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's an issue with that, ne? While you're saying that, ne? And which is a lot of. Which is something a lot of medical doctors usually raise, to say people who give this kind of advice, and especially if they are not medical practitioners who are qualified and registered, they put people's lives at risk. What would have happened if this was a worst case scenario where you advised this man, and also with the kind of confidence that you had that this was going to work definitely? What would have happened if that call came in and to say, you advised this man not to take this medication and stop taking this medication, and today we have lost him?
That's interesting. You know what gives me confidence, Rams? Is the fact that I know that what I'm doing is right and that it makes sense.
Sure.
I don't know. I think God did a little. And that it makes sense.
Yeah, let's just, there's noise now. Yeah, we're busy recording, yeah, okay, yeah. I think we need to wrap up because this
clearly
noise,
it's becoming distractive.
Yeah, it's becoming distractive, and the guys are about to start a program, and I want us to wrap up with the main purpose why we are here, because most of my things are not planned. I just always move with my equipment, and then I create conversation wherever I am.
Yeah.
Right. That situation.
Yeah.
What would you have done, and what do you think that would have done to you as well?
Yeah. One thing I know is that what I'm doing is right. It is true. It is in alignment with nature, with the nature of the body. Because toxic chemicals don't belong in the body. Chemicals that you cannot even name do not belong in your body. And what I do know is that the body is supposed to be living on alkaline. The body functions best in its alkaline state. And if you overload the body, got the acids, you're definitely damaging it. And that's what I know they're doing with the pills. And that's what I know the food is doing. And so what I know is if you slowly let go of something, I also drastically like that. Because you allow your body time to adjust to this thing not being present anymore. So your body can slowly switch itself back to its normal position, naturally, without aggression. So I know what I'm doing is true, but if it were to happen, it would really break my heart. Because I have good intentions. Because I actually want people to get healed. Because I don't want somebody to live on pills. Because nobody wants to live on pills. Is there any single person who says, I don't want to live healthy, I just want to take pills for the rest of my life?
No.
Something would have to be wrong with that person. So I know that this is in alignment with truth. And so I'm doing it because I know that this is the mission that I've been sent to come and do on this earth. And I'm not afraid of what may happen, because when I come in there, I don't say I am a professional, medical, whatnot. I tell them I'm a man who learned through experience. The things I'm telling you to do worked for me. I'm saying to you, if you apply it, it may work for you if you are committed to the process.
Right.
So this is entirely your choice. I show you the best and safest way to move away from where you are and to come to where I am. Because I know that if you safely navigate your way through the process, you can eventually get to a place where you heal yourself, just like that old man.
Right. We are here at the Men Speak Out and Protect a Boy Child camp. We are invited by Matalana Mokhatla, who's one of our brothers who is really invested in making sure that a man is taken care of, is protected, is developed, is nurtured properly to be integrated back into the society, and the young boys are being raised properly so that when they grow they become better adults. So health-wise, physically, if there's one thing that you can talk about men that is always affecting them and how they can resolve the problem.
Lifestyle majita ba phela most of the time. Majita re phela lifestyle ya dinama, ya ditshisa nyama, majwala. You know, and weekend by weekend. Most guys don't exercise. Most guys don't care about eating right and exercising. So I know most guys are living a self-destructive lives. Not intentionally so, but simply because of the lack of awareness and knowledge, a lack of education and the right people around them. So I would say that if guys would adjust the lifestyle that they are living and incorporate more healthy food and some exercise, then I think we can raise men that are going to be able to contribute within society, actively so, because they will have the clarity of mind and the energy to actually be able to do things in the community.
Mortality as well.
Yeah. Even living longer, so they would be able to leave legacies. They would be able to plant seeds longer. They will be able to nurture their seeds and be fathers and be present longer.
You're right.
Yeah.
If you have any specific message that you would like to share with the world?
Wow. I think let me share it with men, since it's really a men's conference right now.
Sure.
Yeah. I would say, listen, bro. The life of a man is meant to be tough. And it's not because you are hated, but it's because you are tough within you. If you allow the pains of life to not shape you in such a way that you feel like a victim, but you realize that the reason these things are happening is because they are happening so you can become a better version of yourself, a stronger version of yourself, a more determined, a more hungry, a more grit and stamina type of man. Then I think if you can understand that these things that are happening are not happening to punish you, then we can raise men who are not going to cry about everything that is hard in life, but they would actually acknowledge the fact that without these pains, I wouldn't be the man that I am. Because I know for sure it was the pains that I went through in my life that helped me become the man that I am today. It was because of all of those things that I started exercising, and I started meditating, and I started reading, and I cut off friends, and I started working hard on my purpose. And I started a business, and I was able to build myself up to become somebody who can stand in front of people and actually share something constructive. So I know that if I never had those things, I never would have determined myself to become the man that I am today. And I'm grateful for my pain. I'm grateful for the shit, all the hard shit that happened to me.
Sure.
I'm glad. I wouldn't wish for it, but it's okay that my father died or passed away when I was a kid. I accept that. I acknowledge that, well, there was nothing I could have done about it.
Sure.
But now that I'm a man, I'm aware that I'm able to shape myself as a man. I was able to go through the trauma of not having a father and then becoming strong by myself and understanding that this is life. This is part of life.
Information about your business and how we follow you on social media?
Yeah, my social media handles is Molo Health, Instagram Molo Health Shop, and just check me up on WhatsApp 063-174-8798. And my website is www.molohealth.co.za.
Right. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, brothers and sisters, Molo Health. My name is Jack Rams. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. This was a very beautiful special episode, and I appreciate you guys again. 600 subscribers. It means we're going somewhere. We're moving road to 1,000 subscribers. More content is coming. We have added other segments on the channel to cover everyone because we want to reach out to everyone. We heard your comments, and because we listen to you, we have added another segment called The Roundup. Go and check it. We are on episode 3. It's all about entertainment. I told you that this part of the segment is about profiling, educating, and informing people. Until we meet again on the next episode, from me, Jack Rams, on Mega Artist Media, Jack Rams Online. Danko.